co-main event time, and we got the flyweight strap on the line here with Brandon Moreno rematching Davison Figueiredo after two hellacious fights that they've already have, and now here they are scheduled to fight one more time. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get a fourth fight out of them, considering that the first one went to a draw, the second one obviously a Moreno won, and there's a damn good chance that Figueiredo could get his strap back if he's able to pull off the victory this coming weekend. Now, in terms of odds, we got the champion coming in at minus 170 and plus 150 the return on the challenger Davison Figueiredo. The interesting aspect of that is the fact that in the first two fights, minus 330 was the line on Figueiredo in their first fight. In the second fight, he was lined at minus 210, and now here he is as the plus 150 dog after getting finished by Brandon Moreno in the third round via rear naked choke back at UFC 263 earlier last year. Now here they are once again scheduled to fight each other, and I'm kind of skeptical in terms of the Davison Figueiredo that we saw last time around. Somebody had tweeted earlier in the fight, and you could see it if you go back and watch the broadcast yourself, that they said that it looked like Davison Figueiredo doesn't look like himself at all, or it could be that Brandon Moreno has really developed and just looks really damn good. Either way, I think it's a combination of both, but more so of the former, with Davison not really showing up, in my opinion, right? I tweeted out something earlier saying that, it looked like Davison left the God of War in the locker room when he went out there to fight Brandon Moreno at UFC 263, but hopefully he's able to rediscover the God of War and bring him to the cage this time around. Interesting thing to note here, Figueiredo changing camps, similar to what Weili Zhang did as well before her rematch against Rose Namajunas. She went down to Fight Ready. Davison Figueiredo joined her down there at Fight Ready, and although it didn't go well for Weili Zhang, I do think that we could see a different outcome for the Fight Ready crew here with a much better specimen in Davison Figueiredo to work with. Now, I think the main thing that happened in the first fight that didn't happen in the second fight was that Brandon Moreno respected the power a little bit too much of Davison Figueiredo in that first fight, but Figueiredo forced him to respect it, right? He put the pressure on him from the jump. And the interesting statistic here from the first fight and the second fight is that the first fight we saw Davison Figueiredo throw over 56 strikes in that first round compared to the 13 strikes that he threw in the first round of the second fight. So a very weird style from Figueiredo. Normally he comes out like a banshee and really tries to get his opponent out of there, or at least impose his will early, but that's not what happened in the second fight. So interesting thing to note there. The first fight, I actually scored it 48-46. There was that point deduction, I believe, in the third round for Figueiredo for a low blow. But even with that point deduction, I thought he won rounds 1, 2, and 5. And then obviously that round 3 would have been a 9-9. But I thought 48-46 was the correct score. One of the judges actually gave round 5 to Brandon Moreno, which makes absolutely no sense to me, because if you guys look on MMA decisions, 92% of people, 92% of 883 submitted scorecards gave round 5 to Davison Figueiredo, which I believed was the correct scorecard for that specific round. I'd be interested to see if we would have got the rematch, even if that fight did go Davison's way. But the fact that it was a draw, obviously there was supposed to be a rematch after that. My question is, does Brandon Moreno really deserve to be a minus 170 favorite after beating a Davison Figueiredo who, in my opinion, just didn't show up? And I don't think so. I'm going to give Moreno credit. I don't think he deserved to be a plus 170 dog or a plus 260 dog in the first two fights against Davison. But I do believe that this fight is a little bit closer to 50-50. And now let's try to take the improvements into account from the Figueiredo side, especially with him moving over there to Fight Ready and seeing what they're going to be able to add to his game. Henry Cejudo, Eddie Chaw, all those guys down there. A very specialized training camp they're going to be having for Figueiredo, so I can't wait to see what they have in store for Brandon Moreno this weekend. I like Figueiredo in this spot, given the odds that we have, plus 150 on a guy that a lot of people didn't expect to be touched in the 125-pound division, even the Moreno fight, right? The first time around, everybody thought it was just a foregone conclusion that Davison was going to get him out of there and he was going to continue his reign of the 125-pound division. But, Moreno made it interesting. So, the odds the first time around, incorrect in my opinion. They should be closer to a pick'em in this fight, which is why I'm actually going to be siding with the Figueiredo side. not just because of the odds, but just because of his style as well, right? He can use that power punching style, continuously moving forward and really making his opponents respect his power. And I think that's exactly what he's going to have to do here against Moreno to, get the success back that he had in the first fight compared to the second fight, where, it just seems like, again, it was a very underwhelming performance. Didn't seem like he was himself at all. And I'm expecting to see him dig back deep into that God of War that we're used to seeing from him. So I'm going to be going with Deiveson Figueiredo here. I don't expect him to finish Moreno. Moreno, tough Mexican chin, very tough to put away. In five or six professional MMA losses, never been finished. He was obviously finished on the on the Ultimate Fighter by Alexandre Pantoja via rear naked choke. But this guy has a cast iron chin. He can be dropped. He can be wobbled, but it's very difficult to put him away. So I do think we'll get something similar to their first fight, a war, hopefully. But I do think that the more impactful and significant shots are going to be coming from the God of War, which is why I'm going to be taking him to win this fight. So I'm going to be going with Deiveson Figueiredo to win this fight via decision.